right. Looks like we're going live. A few minutes late, but you know what? Better Nate than Lever. Is that what they used to say? And I'm getting myself onto the TikTok as well, just to remind people, doing the reminder that we're going live. All right. Ooh, we'll see how that works. All right. Go live. All right. Here we are. In a room full of strangers. Becky and Spreading Sunshine, nice to see you. I'm doing the duo. I'm doing the Donnie and Marie this week, which I'm showing up temporarily this week on YouTube, most importantly. But also, I'm reminding folks on TikTok. TikTokers, rockers. We got the rockers and we got the TikTokers. TikTok folks. I am really on YouTube. I am live, not Memorex, but I'm on the YouTube right now. So Kelly Smith, good morning. So anybody who is interested in interacting from TikTok, I am doing Destination Decluttered live on YouTube right now, and that's where we're going to hang out. So good morning, everybody. Laura Voorhees, nice to see you as well. This is the, as I often like to say, is the romper room portion of the show. So I'm welcoming all the people into the little classroom, I reckon. Cheryl, good morning. Nice to see you. I feel like, what's his name? Ringo Starr, peace and love, peace and love. There we go. So good morning. Good morning. So TikTokers, you have not seen me in a while. It's funny. I usually stack this on a yoga block, but it's in my bag from yoga. But here I am, Destination Decluttered, Beth, Destination Decluttered, Decluttering Life Coach, here with you this morning primarily on YouTube, but here showing up kind of halvesies on TikTok to remind you that if you want to interact, hop over to Destination Decluttered on YouTube, Decluttering Life Coaching. And hey, check this out. Talk about decluttering. I thought this was important. So you guys, and actually, here's a fun thing. People on the YouTube channel can see much more of my background. They can actually even see the little corner of my phone here, but I'm afraid if I move it, that it's going to fall off my thing. Oh, actually, here, check this out. Oh, there we go. Look at me problem solving. Okay. So what I want to offer, check it out. Look at this. See all these boxes in the back? Now, they all look nice and neat because they have squares and stuff like that. But this is my next decluttering journey in a way. So I thought it was going to be truthful and helpful and important. Boston Mama, nice to see you on TikTok. Feel free to hop over. I show up on YouTube every single day doing a live. So if you've missed seeing me live, you can see me live on YouTube, okay? These boxes behind me represent, I'm doing the math, almost 30 years worth of sentimental clutter for me. Yeah. I've got the pre-2000s. I've got the earlys. I've got all these. It's crazy. The reason they are now in my room is because we need to get our basement floor worked on, and everything in my basement has to be removed. Our basement. Pardon me, I see a face. I've just seen a face. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm using this as a live kind of experiment. Is that I am chunking it down. I am realizing that I will exhaust myself if I have to go up multiple trips from the basement and carry things up. So we don't even have the guy like scheduled to get the stuff done in the basement. But if we want to get something done and talk about, we don't even have the official date when we're starting, but I know that when we do, I want to be ready for him to hit the ground running when he does the floor over. It's been nasty since we moved here 20 years ago, and we're finally getting it done. And what I want to offer to you is that I am taking a page out of my own book, and I haven't even written a book, which is to chunk it down and to start sooner rather than later. Instead of having something being urgent and, oh my God, you have to do it right now and all this, I am setting a timer every day for 20 minutes. And I'm saying, what can I bring up from the basement or the cellar, as we New Englanders call it, the cellar, going down the cellar, not down to the cellar, down the cellar, right? Every day, 20 minutes. My timer, I'm using the timer on our stove because it makes a beep, beep, beep noise when it's over. And I say, what can I bring up and what can I do with it thoughtfully, not just pitch it somewhere? So, Cat Roby's in the, hey, it's Cat Roby. Scheduled Beth Blinders, cozy kitten email cleanup time. I love it. She says, I'm starting at 251 total emails. I love assigning the number to it. And then 55 minutes. I can't wait to hear after the 55 minutes. Faith, hey, people on TikTok, I'm really over on YouTube. This is live. This is whatever it is. Oh, it's March 4th, and we're marching forth. Okay. But what I want to offer to you is I'm only showing up for the TikTokers to remind you that I do a YouTube live every day. Okay. You may not be in the habit of being on YouTube, but if you want to interact, that's where I am. Okay. So Cat Roby has got 55 minutes, 251 emails. She's cuddling with her kitties. And she is, we'll see how she is in about 55 minutes. It's fun to find out what makes an ocean wave. Or I can walk like a penguin, right? I think I'm combining actually in my brain. That's such a deep cut. That's like an if you know, you know from people in the Boston area. I believe that is the commercial for the Museum of Science and the aquarium. But you know what? Talk about things in a box that get a little bit convoluted. Time for timer. You know it. So she's got her timer going, right? I love it. So, yes. So what I want to offer to you is this is my journey right here. Now, I will be very clear. I have a plan for these boxes. And it isn't to go through all of them. It isn't to do whatever, but I turn 60 next year. And I have said to myself that I do consciously, and I feel good about what I have accumulated. When it's neat like this, each one of these boxes represents a year, or sometimes some years I saved a lot of things, so there were multiple things. But I saved these. We were talking yesterday about proof, paper of proof of something. Now, we were talking about this with regards to decluttering your paperwork and doing your tax paperwork. Proof that I spent some money that I want to claim on my taxes, proof that I made money, paper proof, right? To me, I'll be completely sincere. All of these boxes have a good story. Everything in these boxes has something good in them. It has multiple little things of a business card that we went to, or a swizzle stick, or who knows, a magazine that I was featured in, whatever it is. All of these boxes add up to me of evidence, proof of a life well lived. Now, the neat thing is I used to have to prove that to myself, and I think I was proving it to other people. This is who I was. These are the things I liked back then. These are the places I went. This is the show I went to. These are the people I met, whatever it was. My life, that level of detail is the most important to me. It will not be as important to other people, but I am going to enjoy the journey of going through and walking down memory lane with these things. Am I going to go through all of them right now? Oh, hell no, I don't want to. That's not my plan. My plan is to get caught up so that each year, as I open one box, I empty another. And not necessarily empty, but I walk down memory lane. Okay, so I just have these in the back. I don't know if you'll see them all the time, but I also feel like as a decluttering life coach, I want to show up as a real person. I do show up as a real person. I mean, seriously, look, my hair is like totally alfalfa-ing right now. I have no makeup on. It is early in the morning. I'm, still waking up. And I have my own clutter. I own my own stuff, but this is not cluttered. It's organized. It had been curated before it went in there, but I can go through another round. Do I still want to keep these things? You know? And how do I want to keep them? It's interesting. Jennifer is saying over in TikTok about framing concert tickets. I am literally in the trash out there right now are two things that I had framed in the past that I had hung up on walls of places that I had lived that for multiple years now in this house have not been hung up. I did not feel the need to prove to somebody that somebody wrote an article about my husband and me and where we lived 20 plus years ago. I don't need to prove that to anybody else and frame it. So I have started to deframe things. Taking things out of frames can be a powerful way to break the seal on stuff you just don't even use anymore. Okay? So I just want to offer to you that I'm going through my own decluttering journey on a daily basis. And throughout the next probably 2 months, I would think, you're probably going to see this room look temporarily worse because we are making another area of our home look more permanently better. And then this stuff will go back. Some of this stuff, not all, will go back there. I may change where it goes, how I keep it, that type of thing. But I'm going through my own journey. So I just thought it was important to not pretend I'm perfect. And I'm not going through what you're going through. I'm just going through it my own way. So that's the story of these boxes here. You know, and I can't get these boxes anymore. I used to get them at AC Moore, and now AC Moore is closed. So I am going to be looking to, make use of what I have. Okay, so Laura Voorhees. I went through a very similar thing. So Laura is saying, I have a framed collage of a day that my sister-in-law babysat. The sister-in-law made the collage, but it's just too big. We used to post it on the wall, but I think it's time to take the pictures out. Yes, and let me encourage you. You can do this, and it will be okay. When I first met my husband's parents, circa 1999, I guess it was technically 2000. It was literally like January 1st, 2000. No, it was a few days before that, so I did meet them in 99. They had two family collages hanging in the split level ranch heading down to the basement. They had two family collages that Bob had made, Cliff's dad. And they were hanging there for years. Well, they were and then they got taken down when they were passed. And a lot of these pictures are really cool, walking around, looking at them, things like that. Within the past 2 months, so it's now 20 plus years later since I first saw them, and they were made years before. I asked permission from my husband. We were going to maybe hang them. We had them in our house. They were hanging up. Like, we never hung them up. Didn't want to hang them up. Didn't know what to do with them, but it felt awkward. I asked permission. Was my husband cool with, and was his brother cool with us kind of taking the frames apart and taking the pictures out? And they both said yes. The really neat thing was, I feel like seeing those pictures individually, there were pictures that have been hanging up there for years. I didn't even know who some of those people were. We had the opportunity to talk about those things. And then you saved the memory. Some of the pictures, we kept the memories. We took a picture of it. So Laura, one thing that I would highly recommend, and I did this yesterday with some of the things that I unframed to then put the frame in the trash or to donate it, is to take a picture of the collage before you dismantle it. Okay? Take a picture of it as a memory of it all together, and then you can have that preserved. Okay? That may make it easier, and then you can still save the memories, but it doesn't need to take up so much GD space. Okay? So I offer this to everybody, is things that take up space in your life can work for a while. You may have enjoyed having it up. You may have put it up because of guilt. I don't know. But walking around your house and saying, I like where those things are, but also then I want to change some things. Changing your home to be more how you today like it and less like you had it before is an evolutionary process. It was important to me at a certain time to prove to myself and others what a cool person I was, maybe. Oh, hey, that's fun. I thought I put my I just got a notification about going away. Something fun to think about. I just want to offer to you this. Evolution, evolving, not devolving, like Devo said in the 70s and more in 80s and beyond, and more and more are some eras are, some people are devolving, but we want to be evolving into the best version of ourselves. Right now, you are the best version of yourself based on what you've done. This is who you are now, and you have so much good about you. Your house is the best it's ever been in certain ways, but maybe in certain ways and yourself and your home, not so much. Okay, good morning, Penny Myers. Nice to see you. Changing what you don't like. Here's a note. Oh, I wrote it down when I was coaching this morning. If I don't like what is around me, I need to do something different. If I don't like the items, how my home looks, I need to do something to do it. Hey, everybody, look, it's Carla Jane. Carla Jane's in the house. How are you? Is this thing on? No, it's not on. I have to charge it up. But Carla Jane, nice to see you. I've got my Mr. Microphone. Hey, pretty lady, we'll be back to pick you up later. Now, I talk about giving the microphone because you've got the microphone, okay? You can hand it. Pretend you're in a car, okay? Here. I feel like all of a sudden, I feel like you can't hear me if I'm talking to this thing, and I'm not even talking to this thing, okay? Carla Jane, I hope you're feeling better. What I want to offer to you is pretend you're in a car. I do this all the time. Pretend you're in a car and you're in the driver's seat, okay? You are in the driver's seat of your life. You are. You are always behind the steering wheel. You are always in the driver's seat of your own life. And you know, being in the driver's seat, this gives you the opportunity to even get into gear to start driving anywhere. Maybe you're just stuck in your driveway. Maybe you're steering in a direction, but that you don't necessarily, if you keep on going that way, do you like where that's headed? If not, let's course correct. In your car, though, you're not the only one. This is the way I think of it, and it has really helped me. This is why I share this all the time. In your car, you have two invisible passengers. You have your backseat driver, and you have your co-pilot. Now, if your life is not, and your home, if your home is not looking like you want it to, you may be listening to the backseat driver, a little kid who's got a Mr. Microphone who's saying, don't get rid of that. Don't get rid of that. That could be something good. Your sister-in-law made that. She might get mad at you if you get rid of that thing. That's your backseat driver telling you, no, don't do it. Okay? And I love it, Penny Myers, that you're so liking where I'm headed since learning from you, because this is why I show up to teach this stuff, because it has so helped me. I want to help others. So backseat driver is typically little kid, scared little kid in the backseat saying, no, don't change. Change can be scary. Change can be death. Yeah, sometimes it can be, but not. Oh my God, I'm going to be talking into this thing all the time. However, the backseat driver, who you've probably listened to a lot all your life because it's the unbidden, it's the automatic fear-based brain that we have. When you are evolving, you will notice, because this has happened before, you also have an awesome co-pilot. Now, those of you who are religious may call this God, your soul, love, spirit, energy, Fred, call it whatever you want. I call it my co-pilot, because my co-pilot isn't the crabby little kid or the mean person who's saying, don't go where you want to go where I want to go. Okay? You have a co-pilot. Your co-pilot is like me. I'm sitting there in the passenger seat. You're driving, but I'm in the passenger seat. And this is me. Hey, Hey, you want to go somewhere fun? Where do you want to go? I can help you get there. I get some snacks. We've got some good tunes. I can help you get your foot off the brake and more onto the gas, but we don't have to speed there. We're going to go on a pace that feels good to you. Okay. And when the little kid in the back seat starts being like, no, don't do that, I'll be like, shh, quiet down. We got this. Okay. Yes, I want to cause some trouble. Let's get in some trouble. So I just offer to you, if you've been listening to the scared little kid in the back seat, welcome to being human. But, and conjunction junction, you also have an internal co-pilot that may have been silent or speaks up infrequently, probably because the little kid in the back seat is chatting, right? But what I want to suggest to you is me, I show up as your co-pilot for an hour every day. I show up so that I quiet down your backseat drivers, mainly because I'm talking myself, but also so your backseat driver or your co-pilot is like, hey, yeah, that's what I would say. Is you got this. You got this. You can do this. You got this. You can do this. What do you want to do? That's the real question. What do you want? Whatever you want, I can help you get there, declutter wise. Seriously, because it's about what you think and how you feel causes what you act. Okay. If you're thinking scared thoughts and you're feeling scared, you're probably pulling back. You're probably hanging on to stuff. You're probably receding. You're probably stuck. You're probably not engaged. You're not in gear. You're sitting in inertia. That is what fear tends to do. Stunned, overwhelmed, whatever. Okay. Hey, Rochelle, nice to see you. Just to let you know, I'm just playing with my new Mr. Microphone. I love it. I'm on the radio. I love it. Hey, I'm on the radio. I love it. Hey, little lady, I'll be back to pick you up later. Oh, I crack myself up. Rochelle, I'm really over on YouTube right now. So if you want to interact, you can watch the side of my face right here in my ever softening chin. But in reality, I do a live every day on YouTube, which is where I'm at. I'm just showing up here to remind people on TikTok that I don't really show up on TikTok anymore with any frequency. That being said, what do you want? And that can be very overwhelming. That can be a big, vague question. So let's chunk it down. Overwhelm? No, not on my watch. Let's chunk it down. What do you want your kitchen to look like? Declutter wise. None of this like cabinets, like I don't do remodeling. Clutter wise, what do you want your kitchen to look like? How do you want it to function? And how do you want to feel when you walk into your kitchen and you use your kitchen? And you walk out of your kitchen when you're moving through your kitchen? Ask yourself, what do you want? What do I want? And write down what you want. Because when you write it down, like a shopping list, like a list to Santa, like a note to self, like a wish list, you can make it happen. Okay? I write down stuff I want all the time, and I know how to get it now. Okay, so Penny Myers wants to make sure to recover after hitting a pothole. Best thing you can do, as Fred Astaire would say, is pick yourself up. I don't know why I'm going to sing it in a Boston accent, but it sounds like it's going to be funny. Pick yourself off, dust yourself off, start all over again, right? Take a dance lesson from Fred Astaire. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again. And not all over, just show up the next time. Yay, Rochelle, thank you for making the switch. So this is why the Paver and Potholes habit tracker can be so fun, because it's just a daily. If you didn't do it yesterday, okay, what are the things I didn't do yesterday? I'm trying to get better at this. Oh, no, I did that. I did pretty well because I'm trying to get better at it. And you know what encourages me? Okay, so I had, and actually, technically, that's an X. That's not an O because I didn't have anything planned. But you are going to hit potholes. Okay, you are going to hit potholes. There are days that you are not going to do all the things you know you should do, you want to, you said you were going to. Welcome to the imperfection of a human existence. Embrace the imperfection and look for the good amongst the bad. Look for the wheat amongst the chaff. Look for the diamonds within the rough. Okay? What you look for, you're going to find. Look, in the midst of all this hell that's going on in the real world, guess who's showing up for you every day trying to make you laugh with my Mr. Microphone? This is me, because when you're laughing, you're living. Laughter is a form of resistance. Laughing in the face of freaking Elon Musk, I would relish the opportunity to say, isn't it crazy that the man who, if money makes you happy, why does the man who has the most money in the world, why is he so freaking unhappy, and he's causing millions of us to suffer because of it? So you know what that teaches me? Money is not where it's at. It's about this. And sure, money can help you feel clothed and fed and stuff, but after a certain point, if you have a hole in your heart, you can never fill it with money. No. So that's what I say. All right. Rochelle's got something good to report. Rochelle says, took multiple old cameras from my basement to a camera store yesterday and sold it. Still a process selling stuff. I love it. Rochelle, that is so cool. Yes, isn't this great? Penny, this is my Mr. Microphone. Carla Jane sent it to me. And my husband was kind enough to put this, get me an orange windscreen for it. And actually, I think some of you of an age will, I call it the Bert nose, because doesn't it look like Bert's nose? Remember that episode of Ernie and Bert where they took Bert's nose off and they put it on the thing? That was trippy, But yes, it's kind of fun because notice, we have a microphone. We have power over whose voice we amplify in the world, whose voice we allow ourselves to hear. Can you imagine just turning the microphone down on the people you don't like? I can't hear you. Bang, bang, bang on the door, babe. Whose voice do you want to hear? Do you want to hear the voice of fear? Of being scared, of not knowing what to do, of being fearful? Hand the microphone to the backseat driver. They are happy to sit back there in their little car seat. Don't do that. You're powerless. You can't do anything. Who do you think you are? You're not going to make a difference. That's not going to help. No. You've always been this way. You can't change. Who the fuck wants to listen to that? What I say is, me. I am your co-pilot for the next 30 minutes. Kat Roby, it's a 30-minute check-in. If you want to see, let us know how many emails you went through. No pressure. I'm right next to you. I'm not backseat driving you to say, don't do what you want to do what I want to do. I'm next to you, and all I show up saying is, what do you want? What would you like to feel? What do you want your kitchen to look like, clutter-wise? What do you want your bedroom to look like, clutter-wise? How do you want to feel when you walk into your basement? How do you want your basement to function? Look, function, and feel will always be the three things I hit because they're basically the surface, stored, and sentimental of how you define your destination. Okay? I love this, you guys. Okay, this is wicked funny. I got to stop thinking that you can't hear me if I am putting my fake microphone, but boy, is it fun. And why not make it fun? Kat Roby. All right, I can do this. Notice Kat Roby started. I started something. That's a Smith song. I don't know the rest of it, though. Kat Roby says, okay, so around a half an hour ago, okay, at 7:05, Kat Roby started decluttering her emails, okay? And she had 251 total emails. It is now 7:31 and she is down to 136. You guys, Kat Roby started. She took action, she got in gear and started driving towards the destination of fewer emails in her mailbox. She started taking action. She started doing something. Okay. So you can do it too. If Kat Roby can do it, if I can do it, we are leading by example and you can do it too. That's a co-pilot thought. You can do it. You can do it too. But what it is going to depend on you. And here's something I am here to help you get better at is feeling more comfortable or less discomfort, two different things, but maybe similar, making decisions, figuring out what you want, no matter how big or how small, because all big things are a bunch of little small things, helping you to listen to your soul to say, what do I want? Writing that shit down, because if you don't write it down, you're going to forget it if you're my age or anywhere in this overwhelming world. Figuring out what you want, writing it down, chunking it down, and helping you get there. Yeah. Getting comfortable asking yourself what you want. Knowing the skills, learning the skills. For me, I am here to teach you how to listen to your soul when it says, what do I want? And sometimes you don't know what you want, but you know, I don't want that. I don't want what's going on here. I don't want I don't want to pay a lot for this muffler. So I ask you, again, it's scalable. I love scalable questions. That means there's something good there. That means that I'm not just teaching you how to organize a sock drawer. Marie Kondo, totally realizing that perfection is unsustainable under certain circumstances. That's why I always say, how does it look, but how does it function? I want it to be easy. I love it. Laura Voorhees is offering, I cyber hoarded. I've never heard that word before, but that's great. I cyber hoarded email when I was a teacher. Yes, we hoard things. Let's be clear. We hoard things for fear that we may need it someday and that we're afraid that we won't have it if we need it. So she cyber hoarded emails when she was a teacher. I get a lot of teachers who I've coached before. I love this because teachers freaking rock. My last day, I printed out the stuff I wanted to keep before they turned off my account. Bam. Notice, she printed off what she wanted. Did she print them all out? No. She printed out what she wanted, so she had a copy of it. And then she says they decluttered the thousands of emails. I bet their bandwidth shot up. Yeah. I love this. I love this. Regina has an Adams, okay? Regina has thing. And just really quick, people on TikTok, I am live, but I am live on YouTube right now. If you want to know when I'm live and do all these things, I'm rarely on TikTok. I'm only showing up this week to remind you of this, but I'm on YouTube pretty much every day. Get on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com to get the schedule. And if you want to interact, hop over to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Okay. Just thought I'd, yeah, Cat Mama, you can comment there. You're just going to have to figure out how, my dear. Okay. I say that with care. I say that with care in my heart for you. So Regina is sharing a really good win. We share the wins. Let's amplify. Let's turn the volume up on the wins, okay? Regina was able to get a hold of my bank and ask how far back I can access my statements. Notice what she did. She took an action. She inquired. She got an answer to a question she had. How many years back can I access my statements? She found out the answer and boom, she's more than halfway to shredding my actual statement. And then we get to the good part. She says, I'm shredding my actual statements and it feels great. It feels great. Just like Tony the Tiger. Okay. More paperwork to go through, but now I know, oh, see, this is so good. I know I can get through it and it will be great. It would be great. It will be. None of this would be great if you did it. It will be great when I do it. Let's turn up the quality of words we use to talk to ourselves, okay? Turn up the fun. Yes, and shredding can feel cathartic. You are going to feel lighter. And here's the funny thing, you have technically more paperwork to go through, but you have less paperwork to go through than you did yesterday. You have less to do today than you did yesterday because you started yesterday. That's why I suggest to you, start your decluttering sooner rather than later. Regina's got it going on, just like Stacy's mom. Now, as I said, these boxes, technically, I don't know when the guy is going to come to do our basement floor, but I am starting sooner rather than later because I know that if I wait longer, he may say, I'm coming next week. And we're like, oh, we want to make that happen sooner rather than later. So we want to be prepared. I'm working on my stuff first, though. I am making sure that the things that I care about the most, which are down the basement, which are very few, I will be clear, that I have a good home for those. Are these going to be stacked here for a while? Yes. Will they move around? Will I move them around? Yeah, probably. But yay. And Regina, that hand on the hips, feeling proud of myself. Do you want to feel proud of yourself? Start decluttering. Taking action to change something you don't want. There we go. Laura Voorhees is doing a raise the roof. I'm doing a raise the roof too. And the good news is that microphone is not on. So I don't need to be, but it's just so fun. And why not make things fun? Okay. How about it? Notice how the decluttering, the idea to declutter felt doable, maybe because of what we've done here, but regardless of how you got it started, you got started. You started taking action. You asked a question, you got an answer. Based on that information, you took the next step, was starting to shred some documents. You taking action in the direction of what you want is feeling good, and Regina is so proud of herself. You know? Notice the feeling of proud of yourself, and just everybody, sit here and conjure up the feeling of being proud of yourself. Notice what happens. You may sit up a little bit taller. Your heart may lift. When your heart lifts, your lungs lift. You may breathe easier. You may have a little smile on your face. Sometimes you put your hands on your hips. We dip, right? You put your hands on your hips. Maybe you've got your Wonder Woman cape on. I feel proud of myself. Check me out. I am getting rid of those bank statements that have been weighing me down for so long. Now I don't have them weighing me down, so I feel proud of myself. And I love this. Sometimes, many times, when you start to declutter, you can then model the behavior of decluttering, and that might have a positive ripple effect. When you start something, is it going to have a positive ripple effect or is it going to have a negative ripple effect? Decluttering, when it's done with love and intention, has a positive ripple effect. Laura Voorhees is saying, my hubs is now helping with the declutter. He is shredding old statements too. We aren't very comparable in how we declutter, but it's good that we are both in it. I love it. Kat Roby is also down to 101 emails. Talk about feeling good. Okay. So Grandma says, I think you've spoken about this before, but what do I do with stacks and stacks of photographs? I will share with you. Notice this stuff right here. This closet over here is filled with my totes of my own stacks of photographs. This is what I highly recommend. First of all, you decrease the overwhelm by not saying I need to go through stacks and stacks. I highly recommend chunking it down. Chunking it down. Okay? Grab a stack. Now, here's where I would start to categorize first. So, categories will help make it easier for you to go through old photographs and decide which ones do I want to keep and which ones am I okay letting go of. Okay? So, chunking down, categorizing. So here's a visual right here. Let me see if I can get myself out of the way. Pretend all these things are filled with photographs and they were a hot mess, like just a big, but maybe they're not. Categories can be decades. Here are my pictures from the 60s. Here's my pictures from the 70s. Here's my pictures from the 80s. Here's my pictures from the 90s. And then notice right here, maybe I don't have as many printed out pictures from the 2000s because that's when we all went digital. Okay. So grandma, begin to just categorize your photographs and chunk it down to decades. Okay. Then, as you go through those, if you see some that are clear that you know you don't want, where you don't even know who the people are, or you don't even know what that sunset was, feel free to pitch the ones that are don't have any resonance for you or anybody else. But you can also chunk them down. Notice I said, here's my pictures from the 60s. Maybe these are the ones from 66, and these are the ones, then you chunk it down further. 1966, 1967, 1968, you get the idea. Then maybe the ones from 66. Then you say, okay, that's January, February of 66, chunking it down and then really saying to yourself, and again, paper and proof. This is my thing this week. With taxes, with paper ephemera, what story are you telling? What story are you trying to keep alive by the photographs that you're saving? And this is how I'm going to go through my stuff and my photos. Can those stories be saved in another way? The answer can be yes. The answer can be no. The answer can be a little bit of both. Do I need to keep all the pictures that were taken of that party to say we had a party on the day that Kurt Cobain died, whatever many years ago? Do we need all those pictures? Maybe some of them. Like when I think specifically of that party, I can pretty much say I'm going to keep the ones that have pictures of people that were there, because I want to remember the people that were there because they were my friends, and some of them still are. And I'm very proud of the fact that I have friends that have been in my life for decades. That's something that those photos say to me. Now, I know I'm going deep. Because this is where I'm at. But what I want to say is chunking it down. Organizing just means chunking it down into categories. Start with categories of years and then decades. And then you can go through a chunk at a time. Okay? I hope that helps, Grandma. But don't start with stacks and stacks. Organize those stacks. Have fun while you're doing it. Walk down memory lane. I'm going to walk down with every one of these boxes that I open up. I'm going to walk down memory lane, and I will share with you. I don't plan on changing my habits of what I hang on to, but I am saving less and less paper because I'm in places where there's less and less paper. We have fewer physical paper photos to go through, because very few of us are printing out photos like we used to have automatically printed before. Okay. Daisy Bowie says, when starting decluttering, how do you deal with it looking messier before it gets better? You do this. You tell yourself, my dear, this is part of the process. Oh, this is the part of the journey where it looks shitty, looks worse before it looks better. It's going to occur in every decluttering project, in creating something you want. There will always be a point in the process where it looks and feels worse before it looks and feels better. Think of it like making chocolate chip cookies, and just remind yourself that if you're at that point, you're making progress, and not to give up during the part where it looks and feels temporarily worse. Temporarily. It looks and feels temporarily worse before it gets better. Okay? Now, yes, and Laura Voorhees is helping Daisy too. See, we're such a cool community over here. Seriously, people on TikTok, you're missing some good stuff. If what I'm saying is resonating with you, hop over to YouTube. If you don't know when I'm going to show up at YouTube, and I got to keep an eye on the time, it's 7:47 a.m. It's 7:47 a.m. here on Destination Decluttered on YouTube and on TikTok. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and I am here to help you with your clutter. So if you like what you hear, sign up for my mailing list. It's free, people. I do not spam you. But what I do is I share with you the schedule of when I show up for YouTube lives, and I'm only showing up temporarily on TikTok to remind you to do those things. But yay, Kat Roby and Laura Voorhees are helping Daisy. Just remind yourself that temporarily is part of the process. Make sure you don't dig so deep that you can't see some project in the somewhere future. Yes. And Kat Roby says, I try to allow time to put the project away each time so it doesn't cause distress in my daily life in between times for the project. Yes. Yes. Okay. And Grandma, what I will offer to get back to the whole thing about photographs, because this is important for all of us. It's hard. You made it hard on yourself. We all did. We all did. Because I didn't write on most photos. So I'm trying to guess the people. Okay, so you can make a pile of mystery people and you can share those photos. You can snap a photo with your phone and text it to your family. Does anybody know who this is? Is that great Aunt Martha? Or is that Aunt Martha, actually, is how we would say it in my family, Aunt Martha? Or is that, her neighbor who she just happened to get a selfie with? Right? So notice that. And when you know who the people are, change that. Get a pencil, get a pen, whoever, write down the stuff on the back of the photos you do know while your brain still remembers this. Because just because you remember it now, and this is going to be a hard truth, but I've seen it happen in my own family. This is why I'm doing this stuff sooner rather than later. This is a sad one, but just because you remember it now doesn't mean you're going to remember it later. So write it down. Okay? And that goes everywhere from the list of things you want to do today to who those people are in the photos. Because your mind, your physical human brain is changing. And sometimes it's not changing for the better. It can be losing memories. It can be forgetting shit. I will never forget the heartbreak I felt when I had digitized a bunch of pictures from my dad from the early 60s when he was in Newfoundland in the Navy, and I showed them to him. And he didn't know who they were. It was tough. It was tough. Yeah, because my dad prided himself on his memory. He was a history major. He knew shit until he didn't. And it wasn't his fault. There's no fault. But we live in a decomposing human body. So capture this moment while you remember this shit and write it down. Because writing it down may jog your memory. Oh, that's right. That was 1961, 1974. Okay. You can change what you do moving forward. You can't change what you did in the past, but you can change how you feel about it. You can change how you remember it. You can draw some good out of the bad from the past and do something different today that's going to set you up for the future. Okay. Ellen, I'm so glad you had breakfast with me today. All right. She's making her list of things to work on today. Sewing room and fridge. Ah, there we go. She spilled the pickle juice. Don't say, what is it? Hold the mayo. Yeah. So, yeah. So do good things. Write down what you want to happen. That brings it from up here in the invisible world, and you write it down. It can be good stuff. Yes. And it can be heartbreaking to see somebody lose their memory. And it could very well happen to every single one of us. Even now, I opened up one of these boxes and I was transferring stuff from one box to another because I wanted the colors to be matchy-matchy. And there was a random like business card from a restaurant in the bottom of one of the boxes. And I look at it and I put that in a box. When I put that into the box, I knew where it was from. I knew what it was supposed to remind me of. When I saw it now, I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay. So capture those memories now. Write them down, remember them, so that maybe you have some evidence to jog your memory, whether it's a photo or a piece of paper or a story you write to yourself in a notebook. Because here's the other thing too, is when I die, I would like some of my cool stories to be part of family lore. I want to be known by the people in my family long after I'm gone, because a lot of my family history is a mystery. But do I want my nieces and nephews and grandnieces and nephews to have to wade through all this stuff? They won't know what all this stuff is. And also it just takes up a lot of room. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through those things and my photographs, and starting now, because why the hell not? Sooner rather than later, I am writing down the story of those things in a book. And you guys are coming along on the journey with me, much like I am going on the journey with you. Okay. So speaking of journey, and no, we're not going to go Don't Stop Believing, but you're here today at the beginning of your day, as you are every day. Look at me. I feel like the Statue of Liberty. Actually, here. I feel like the Statue of Liberty. Look at me. Is that it? Where do you want to go today? Where do you want to steer your car in the direction of, so you're feeling good about where you're headed today? Okay. Yeah. Now, Grandma, let me help you with this. Hey, this is good. Couple of good things. One is Cheryl. Notice the power of decluttering. Cheryl is sharing. I decluttered papers while listening and found a bonus gift card from insurance that I didn't know I had received. Yeah, notice that decluttering can unearth treasures. Okay. What I would also remind you of too, Grandma, with part of the decluttering of photographs and memories and memorabilia. This is what I am going to do, and I highly recommend this. She says, I want to put together photo albums first for my children. It's a big project, but I am determined to organize them. Think of it as a small project. But also, you may not need to put together the photo albums. Could you share the stories of these photos with your family even before you get to the photo album thing? Could you bring them to the next time you guys get together as a family? Could you have a family Zoom? Could you hold up photos? Start it sooner rather than later. Have people know these stories and don't wait for the photo albums. Okay? And also ask them what photos they want. Do they need that many, or is there just one that would suffice from a certain part of their lives? Okay. What I mean by that is, if you are doing some decluttering with the intention of giving it to somebody else, get them involved now. Do you want this? Do you not want this? Would you like this? Okay. So get the people involved. I wish my mother had gotten me involved before she threw away some family memorabilia. I wish I had asked more questions of my grandmother about her life before she passed, and that's both of them. I wish my grandmothers had shared with me more of their lives when they were alive. Now, I may have been too young, but I would have rather heard the stories that have the mystery of what my family is. Okay? Let's also then not be those people who didn't share stories. Okay? Yes, Daisy Bowie. My mindset is it's all so much. No, that is not going to help you. That is destination overwhelm right there. Okay? Here's what I would do. Write down it's all so much in quotes, because it's just something you're saying to yourself, and you can change what you say to yourself. Write down it's all so much and then cross a line through it. And instead say, I'm going to chunk it down. Chunk it down. This is not my phrase. I got it from some other coach that I listened to, but it helped me so much. I'm passing along the good word. Whenever I feel like it's all so much, it's too big, I know that's the time for me to feel like I'm going to chunk it down so until it's so small that I feel like I can do something. So change your mindset. Just because you think your mind is set, no. You can cross it out, you can erase it, and you can choose to replace that phrase in your lexicon up here in your head with something else. And it's going to take practice, but that's fine. Anytime you say it's all so much, traffic cop, stop, no, roadblock, not going that way. Instead, we're going to think, I'm going to chunk it down. Every time you do that, put a roadblock up against the unwanted and do the wanted, which is typically the opposite. If you're stuck, you want to get started. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you want to chunk it down. Okay? Daisy, I hope that helps. All right, now I'm going to sign off from TikTok right now. So TikTok people who are still listening, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. Maybe we know each other from my years on TikTok, maybe not. But I am decreasing my appearance on TikTok, and I will not be adding any more videos to my TikTok page, to be clear. The only videos I may add are going to be ones to remind you that if you like what I do and you find this helpful, I still exist and I do this, but I'm doing it over on YouTube right now. And if I move somewhere else, the people who are going to know are going to be the people on YouTube and on my mailing list. Okay. So the best way to stay in touch and to hear this stuff every single day except for when I'm traveling, is to get on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. Sign up for the mailing list. You get access to a page that has the schedule of when I do a YouTube live tomorrow and on the next day and the next day and the next day and so on and so on. Okay. So I'm going to sign off for you guys now. If you like what you hear, please learn how to use YouTube. It's not that bad. And you can do this. All right. Bye. Boop. Boop. All right. Here we go. The good people of YouTube, my faves. Okay. Inbox zero. Inbox zero. Wasn't that a Foreigner song? Stars in his eyes. Yay, Kat Roby. Yeah. Look what Kat did. Look what she did. She got to inbox zero. Inbox zero. She's got stars in her eyes. Right? Good stuff, Kat Roby. If Kat can do it, you can do it too. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, you guys, I got to sign off. I got to do some coaching. But that's also, yes, support and entertainment. Let me entertain you, and I'll support you like a Playtex living bra. All right? I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right? Bye-bye.